So, dudes, welcome to a big think. We haven't done one of these in a long time, and today we're going to talk about the operators coming from Peru and Mexico in Season 3 of Year something. For the record, I'm going to be calling this Operation Modelo Time. We are getting some operators from a couple Latin American countries, so of course, I'm sure many LATAM Siege players are excited about that. I haven't done one of these videos before, but we'll see how it goes. And when I say I haven't done one of these videos before, I mean I haven't just done, like, complete speculation. I've talked about leaks in the past, but I haven't just, I haven't come up with stuff off the top of my head. Like, this is all pretty new ground for me, but we'll see how it goes. So, the first thing that I noticed in my research for this video is that the amount of resources to look these units up is somewhat limited from Peru and Mexico. Which I think should be the case, because it shouldn't be easy to know everything about these guys. That would defeat the point of their existence. But Mexico is a major drug-producing and transit country. The police and military deal with a lot of urban crime, and that's basically what we're dealing with in Rainbow Six Siege. So this is a pretty good fit. To give you a visual representation of what the characters could be inspired by in-game, you have these guys performing an a cappella number in a parade, kind of going like, I like the face paint. That's a pretty cool look. In terms of units, I'm going to say Yubi will either add the High Command, I'm going to assume that's pronounced GAFE, which are, it's a rapid response paratrooper unit, or the Fuerzas Especiales, literally just special forces in Spanish. Mexican Navy SEALs, Mexican Special Boat Service is basically what they are. They're famous for catching El Chapo Guzman. If you don't know about that dude, you can look him up. There's pages on pages about him. It was international news when he got caught. Big drug cartel kingpin in Mexico. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Netflix show Narcos. Assuming that it gets another season, it's probably going to be about that dude at some point. But this unit is pretty well known for catching this guy, kind of like how the Navy SEALs made international news when they blapped Bin Laden. So, talking about weapons, Mexican weapons. This is basically a Mexican 1911 handgun. It looks a little bit different. It's still chambered in 45 ACP. The slide has this kind of indentation there. I'm not really sure what that represents. But that's an idea. This is on ForgottenWeapons.com. This is a Mendoza HM3. Kind of looks like almost like a PM63, sort of Polish submachine gun. Pretty basic field strip. Pretty easy to break down. Open bolt SMG. Small. Probably has a lot of kick. 9mm, 32 round. Yeah, that's something that a defender could probably use. And then, I actually didn't... And here is a Mexican assault rifle. This is the FX05. And it's basically a Mexican G36. You can even tell it kind of looks pretty similar. At least on the outside. I don't know specifically about the internals, but they did get into a legal dispute with Heckler & Koch, so I'm going to assume that they probably took some liberties that they probably, either didn't care about or overlooked. But 750 rounds per minute, 5.56 NATO, so it's probably going to be a lot like Thermite's gun or IQ's Commando, like middling rate of fire, decent amount of kick, if they add it. Peru is a little weird. The thing about Peru is that they use a mix of NATO and Russian tech. So these are F2000s used by Peruvian Marines. So there's a gun you could potentially add, and it has its unique red dot sight there. But this is a MiG-29. This is the mainstay fighter of the Peruvian Air Force. This is a Soviet-era jet. It's 80s, built to counter the F-15. So, I guess Peru gets along with everybody. It gets a little interesting here. This is a SAR-21. This is an AR, the main rifle of the armed forces in Singapore. Citation needed? I'm really confused about that one. But apparently there's a citation for this. This is a version of the Galil, which, Yubi, please consider this. I'd be really hype. And this is a picture of an F-2000. So these are all potential AR candidates. Submachine guns are all, like, pretty standard NATO stuff. P90s, MP5s, and Uzi. That'd be cool. Yeah. Also, if you remember playing Modern Warfare 3 or COD Ghosts, you'll recognize this weird-looking gun. This is a Peruvian Fad, which was named a Fad and was literally a Fad, because I don't think they use it. It never got a big contract. It only existed in prototypes. And it's certainly unique-looking, but more importantly, it's uniquely Peruvian. So, kind of like how Finca Spear 308 didn't get produced in large numbers, but it's still in-game. I don't really know anything about this gun other than how it looks, and it was designed for tank crews, apparently. Also, I'm assuming this is a Stanag mag, so probably standard 30-round mag. The magwell is tilted to the side for some reason. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I'm assuming that this is like a portability thing, like stowage thing. Kind of weird. Not really sure what the purpose is in that. Anyway, so what I'm thinking of in terms of gadgets, we're getting in the meat of potatoes here. Ubisoft hasn't really done much with status buffs or status global abilities, kind of like Rook for defense, in a long time. And I think we need something to kind of counter Lion and Dokubi's globals. So the Mexican operator, his gadget could sort of be like Rook, where he has a rack of Modelos that he got from the bodega across the street. And he sets them down, and they give your team a +5 immunity buff to any forms of BS that the enemy attackers may bring. And you'll know that the Modelo pack has been set down because he'll say something like this.
It's Modelo time.
Yeah. In terms of Peru, I also believe that the Peruvian operator could have a tactical llama. Now, they'd have just as many llamas in Peru as they do German Shepherds. And a German Shepherd was in Call of Duty Ghosts. So you could basically have the dog from Call of Duty Ghosts. Ubisoft could call up Activision on the phone or send a nicely written email asking them for the software programming code that the dog was based off of.
This is a squad member. It's freaking dog step.
But that's just a general idea of what I'm thinking of when it comes to Mexico and Peru getting added to Rainbow Six Siege. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if you have any speculation or any tidbits of information that would flesh this out a little bit more. I'm pretty excited for this season, and I'll keep following it as news comes out for it. So, if this video raised your Siege IQ, be sure to share it with your friends to also raise theirs, and I will see you all next time. Follow the giveaway link down below to potentially get a neon light for free that has the Siege 6.